Hello and welcome to chapter 265 of the DC Alliance podcast. Had to look up there for a second.
Oh,
With me
I had to
as
change it because,
with me as always is Joe. Joe, how you doing today?
yeah, I saw your notes. It's like 256. Wait, that isn't a match. Hold on.
Nope.
Fix, 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 fix. Anyway, no, I'm doing good. It's been a long week. Yeah, hi guys, we're back. I know I had a convention last weekend, so we went early with Harley Quinn, which is awesome. Which I have finished the season.
Yes,
Um,
we'll talk about that. I think we'll record and talk about that for next
sure,
week.
yeah, because I got some thoughts. I mean, we'll
Hmm.
talk about it.
Yeah.
But no, like it's been good. I had a good convention. I got to meet Mike Coulter. Thought
Yeah.
that was kind of cool. You know, Luke Cage. Also got to meet Wayne Knight. I had a buddy who he rebuilt a '93 Jeep to make it look like the Jeep from
Jurassic.
Jurassic Park. And he couldn't make it to the con because he was sick. So he asked me to have Wayne Knight sign a visor from the Jeep. And yeah, I got to meet him, got to talk to him for a little bit, have him sign it. It looks great. I took it to him the other day. And he sent me a picture of it in the Jeep. It looks pretty cool. Looks pretty awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. I
Yeah.
love Wayne Knight as Newman from Seinfeld. He's
Newman.
Newman.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm a big Seinfeld fan. Growing
Looks
up.
I mean he's a lot older, obviously. He's a lot skinnier now. Still looks good for his age though. Like Ernie Hudson was there, Dean Cain was there, and then I didn't see Dean Cain, but that's just me.
Was he
Chandler
spitting on
Riggs.
kids? I'm just kidding, of course.
You know what? I didn't go anywhere near over there when he was here, when he was at the con. I was elsewhere. But also, the two guys from Reno 911, Thomas
Oh,
Lennon and Cyril C. I can never say his name. The black guy. I know it sounds bad, but him. Cyril Cecil something or other. Yeah, and they were having a blast, man. Those guys were great. I know this weekend Brett is over at con in Kansas City, and he also met Mike Coulter, which is awesome. But no, conventions are fun. If you guys can go to a convention, go to a convention, meet people. My daughter's got to meet one of the voice actors from Call of Duty, so
oh, nice.
they were having a blast with that. But yeah, no,
That's one of my biggest things that I wish I could do here is do we have a little small con? I think the biggest one they've had in the last like 5-ish years was Deadshot from the Arrow show was there because he's actually from this province. So
okay.
yeah, I think that like it's a very small little thing that they don't have.
I was gonna say, do they? I mean, they have conventions in Canada.
Oh
Like,
yeah, in Toronto,
right?
there's a big one in Toronto every
Yeah,
year.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say, like, what is the closest one? I assume the closest one probably still a couple hours away,
Oh
right?
my god, I'd have to take a 4-hour flight to get to the one in Toronto,
Okay,
and the one here is once a year, and depending on it could be a 4 or 8-hour drive or 20-minute drive, all depends on where they have it
gotcha.
on the island, yeah.
I mean, that could always consider that. Times are
Yeah,
great.
no, I'm just gonna one of these days I'll end up in one of those big cons somewhere, Joe, so,
That's fair.
as a trip, that'll be,
I'm going to C2E2 in a few weeks, so
oh, nice, what
I'm looking forward to that.
that's awesome. We do have to talk about somewhat of a con thing there, and a little bit of our news in the future with I think in April, Cinemax or Cinecon for
Yeah,
DC.
something like that.
So
CinemaCon.
yeah, we got a lot of news because we haven't been talking news the last few weeks. So I'm excited to catch up on that with Joe. Before we do that, let's get the network plugs out of the way. So we are part of the Geek Ultimate Alliance with 6 shows in total. On Mondays, bi-weekly is Ranger Alliance. On Tuesdays is a walk through the multiverse with Joe, where he wrapped up Invincible. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to join him for the final episode. I was sick. He told me write me write me my thoughts, and my fingers caught on fire.
Yeah,
Alpha, like,
yeah.
what's
You
going
said
on?
that pretty quick.
Oh, I had my thoughts. I was very disappointed that, but I would have sounded terrible. I didn't sound great on Marvel Alliance either. Uh, and then I went just dark for the rest of the week. But yeah,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that show, and I can't wait for it to come back. So listen to Joe's.
Sometime in 2026, maybe.
Go back if you haven't already and listen to the rest of the episodes. We also have on Wednesdays the Animation Nation, where next week we're wrapping up Beware the Batman. Yay! Not sure what we're going to do yet. I'm juggling a couple ideas, but there will be something out the following week, of course. And on Thursdays is Star Wars Alliance, on Fridays is Marvel Alliance, and on Saturdays is DC Alliance. Star Wars Alliance goes live on the Geekverse YouTube channel Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Marvel Alliance goes live Thursdays at 9:10 p.m. Eastern Time, and DC Alliance goes live Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. All three of those shows also have their own podcast feeds. Search DC Alliance, Marvel Alliance, and Star Wars Alliance if you just want DC content, Marvel content, or Star Wars content only. But if you want all 6 shows on the GUA Podcast Network, stay subscribed to the GUA on your podcast app of choice. We also have a Patreon, 2 tiers, a $1 tier and a $5 tier. The $1 tier is basically a tip jar, like we're doing. You want to help us out any way you can. And the $5 tier is where you get your extras, you get your ad-free episodes, early access to episodes, and Patreon exclusive episodes. Myself and Joe are going through all the DC films through the years. We have that up there as a current show. Joe's Multiverse Minutes is a current show that's ongoing as well, doing his Disney deep dives. On the 1st and the 15th of every month, Joe posts a review for a Disney film. Well, not just a review, it's behind the scenes, facts, tidbits, all those sort of things. We also have 2 shows in the backlog for the patrons. The Marvel Infinity Saga rewatch and their Tales from the House of X, talking about their favorite Fox Marvel films. We thank everyone that's a patron. If you're not a patron, if you take a quick 30 to 60 seconds, rate and review the podcast on your podcast app of choice, it's always greatly appreciated. It helps other people find the shows, and that's always a good thing. Okay, Joe, I think I got through that whole thing. Let's jump into the news with what I used as the main topic for tonight, as it was the biggest news story in the last couple weeks for DC. From Deadline, Colin Farrell circling for Sergeant Rock. What do you think when you heard this news?
I'll say for Sergeant Rock in particular, or just to be?
No, for Sergeant Rock, the main title, yeah.
Look, I love Colin Farrell.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. He's a great actor. He doesn't have to be done with comic movies, but like, and maybe he wants a consistent, gig. I don't know. Not that Sergeant Rock, I think, is going to be in a lot of DC properties.
I see this as a one-off DC property. I don't see
definitely a
Sergeant
one-off
Rock showing up unless it's like the crisis thing down the line.
Well, sure. Yeah. But I mean, they could easily do some animated projects and have him come back. Right. I don't know, him as Sergeant Rock. I'm not saying he couldn't do it. Like I would be great. I don't know if he should do it.
Really? I don't know if people will
like him as a great
Penguin because you can't see him as the Penguin. So I don't know if
it's not even the Penguin. It's But I mean, yes, he is the Penguin, which is, and I do agree, it doesn't look like him. So you could get away with him being another character and be fine. But I don't know, Sergeant Rock, and again, this is makeup does a lot of stuff. I feel like an old grizzled war guy would be best. And again, makeup can do a lot of things. All right.
Yeah, I feel like there's different actors that might be better for this role, but this is what Deadline said about it, Joe. After winning practically every single award out there for his turn in The Penguin, Colin Farrell is looking to get back in business with DC, and that's to star in a title role for Sergeant Rock. Note, this is a different part of the DC verse, with the Penguin attached to Matt Reeves, the Batman sphere, whereas Sergeant Rock is part of DC bosses James Gunn and Peter Safran's universe that they oversee. The two worlds shall never overlap. Scheduling for the film, which Farrell wants to do, we hear has to be a balance with his busy fall schedule that includes a second season of Apple TV's Sugar and Edward Berger's movie The Ballad of a Small Player. So yeah, that is, it says Farrell will play Sergeant Franklin Rock, the World War II set movie created by Robert Ginger. Yeah, there's not much else here for no quotes or anything.
So him having a big schedule already with a show project over on Apple TV Plus and a movie already in line, plus he's got Batman 2 going to be start filming soon.
But we don't know how much of that he's in, because I don't think the Penguin is the focus of much.
No, but like I can see a small chunk. But even at that, like if that takes a week to a month, makeup alone, and I'm pulling stuff out of my butt here, but him the fact that he's got multiple projects going on, and if you want him to be the star of Sergeant Rock, I'm not saying that they can't wait for him, but like I feel like to get that project, if that project's already greenlit to go, like the script is ready, because Gunn has already said he's not greenlighting anything until scripts are done. They're actively looking for a lead.
Yeah.
And I'm, again, not saying he couldn't do it, but at the same time, you want to get this project out, because the more you get out there, the more you get started and actually out into the public, especially on the heels of potentially, I mean, Superman hopefully is going to do great, but like we don't know. Like it could also fail.
In the Superman doing great.
Correct. But that's what I'm saying. Like if you want to get these projects off the ground, get them off the ground now with people you know you are going to have attached to this. That way, not to say like flooding the market is not the right word, or not the right term, but like if you get these projects up and going, it's not always guaranteed. Look at Batgirl, but it's almost a guarantee that it will come out.
Yeah, that is the thing, Joe, to get it past pre-production into actual production. But
yeah,
also, I'm just not sure how this is going to go, to be honest with you. Like it all comes back to Superman. Superman is so huge. Like we have 3 months, a little over 3 months.
June,
Yeah,
just so yeah, because it's coming out in
July. So, yeah, it's this with the cash flow that I think you talk about a lot. It's hard to start some of these projects. That's why we don't have so many going right now. Just really 2 that are mainly filming in Supergirl and Lanterns. There's nothing else filming right now. There's stuff.
But Lanterns is a
talked about.
Show, well, it's still a project. It's a project, though.
It's
yeah,
HBO. Like it's coming.
Right
that's why I'm like, there's money behind that. So that's why that's going as the way it is, which is fine. But you need Superman to be successful. Hell, I wouldn't be shocked to see a stock price go up. That's how grossly tied into. I've seen literally in a couple finance, like MSNBC finance, and in I think it was BBC, somebody else's finance did a couple things about WBD, and one of the things is all their basket is in the Superman. All their eggs are in the Superman movie basket. Yeah. So they need that to be successful.
You know what? Here's the thing. It probably will. It's probably going to be a great movie, but if it can't get the numbers, like if it can't get the money, like the return, because in 2 weeks after it comes out, 3 weeks after it comes out, 2 weeks after it comes out, Fantastic Four is hitting. So that's going to take the box office.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. So you need to make most of your money, and then you still have Jurassic 18 World or whatever.
Yeah, but the buzz on that is already kind of dropping. I've seen but
it'll still take some money from.
Yeah,
it does have a second weekend, so it'll be something.
Yeah,
it's just again, I want you and I want the Superman movie to be successful, so we're crossing our fingers here and hoping that's the case for some of these other projects. Sergeant Rock's not expensive, but again, who knows?
But it's also not a project I'm like. I don't say it's not a project I don't want. I would love to see that character get on screen. It's a character that has not been represented outside of some animated projects.
You mean Justice League Unlimited? I want to say, or Justice League.
That he was also in the Crisis on Infinite Earth 3-part crossover.
He was like a background thing.
Still in it, like that. But that's what I'm saying. Like this character, it's a minor character that has shown up a few times. Nothing major. You're getting a whole major movie out of it. Awesome. Now, that to be said, that's nothing to be said for like characters like Jonah Hex. You know, he had Adam a whole Strange. Movie, or what? Adam what?
Not Strange. Adam.
Adam Strange.
Adam Strange. Yeah.
I was referring to the movies though. Like,
but he was. I don't know if you watched Krypton.
I haven't watched Krypton.
Okay, yeah. So he was the main character in Krypton, and that kind of got the ball rolling on him. Yeah, and.
We got to watch Krypton after Smallville's done.
Yeah, it's very good, Joe. And the guy who plays John Stewart, is in the show as well.
Oh, yeah. That's right. We were talking about that.
Too. There's a few really good. Oh my God! Scott from Squadcast would sing the praises with me. It was a very good show for Superman.
But basically, what I'm saying is we've had these no-name characters before have movies,
Yeah.
and they haven't been successful.
Nope.
They just haven't had the right. I don't want to say they haven't had the right people behind them, but if you have a world, a universe that these characters can grow in, then you're gonna have a little bit more staying power. I feel like.
And again, with a war movie type thing, there'll be casualties. There's spots for emotional like ties to characters. Like even for example, Steve Trevor, the love that they had for him in one movie, like they wanted to bring him back.
You mean 2 movies?
Well, technically,
anyway,
morally, no.
I've always said period pieces tend to. I'm not gonna say always automatically get a win, but they tend to do better than most.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Don't have to worry about those pesky cell phones or the darn old internet.
Well, that's really what it is, though. Like you look at some of the movies that came out in early 2000s, and the modern cell phone, which was like the bricks. Oh, this is so like modern. Born Identity is a perfect example of a movie which is a great concept. They updated it for modern times at the time. You look at it now, and that modern time is already 20 years out of date.
Yeah, like dude, they got way better facial recognition thing. Like you're not going to do your stunts that you pull.
Exactly. So that's what I really mean about period pieces. Period pieces, especially in the early to mid 1900s, it just sells. Captain America, first Avenger, is still amazing. Where the Soldier is better, my personal favorite of Captain America movies. But
you definitely
First Avenger is still great. Huh?
You're definitely alone on that hill.
Why you roll your eyes like that?
Because everybody joined you on that hill, Joe. We all love Winter Soldier.
Look.
Maybe not.
It's what it is. Civil War is Avengers 2.5. And I really did love Brave New World. I really thought that was good.
Yeah.
There's some problems with it, but I still thought it was good.
Captain America attacking down Hulk being one of them. But let's move on. We're not reviewing films here.
Not today, anyway.
Yeah, not today. Soon. Let's take our first ad break of the evening. Listeners, we're an ad support ever. We don't pick the ads or the volume. We're going to do a quick 3 count to adjust your volume.
And this is good water.
3, 2, 1. Just got a little bit. And we're back.
Look at all I have. Anyway,
yes, Joe, you have a lot of water, and I have very little left. Yes.
Sorry, I'm an asshole.
You're right.
Continue.
So we're on to more news. So Superman is going to release in Japan the same day that it releases here in the States and around most of the world. So that's great news. Less piracy, more chances of people seeing it. I'm a big fan of that.
100%.
I wish all movies would open up the exact same weekend everywhere.
Yeah, I don't understand why they don't. Like
most of them are, a lot of them are like the markets, like the movies in their own market. Like they do preferential treatment for China, for example.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Like those movies will get preferential treatment. So sometimes it might be a few weeks. They want their movie industry to grow and be successful, so they'll hold those movies to not compete with their own movies.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
that makes a little more sense now. Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of why it's. I know in China anyway, and I think a couple other countries, same thing. But
China's the main one though. But yeah.
And it's even sometimes
Indonesia, maybe.
Even sometimes with the UK.
Yeah, that's fair.
They've done it a couple times where they pushed it. Now sometimes they'll have it before too, but again, it all depends on what the lineup is. So this is just good news. So hopefully, like we said, it needs to be out in all markets at the same time, because who knows, Fantastic Four might come out the same time in Japan too. So you want to optimize the amount of money that you can make. So I'm hoping, Joe, that this one brings in a lot of money. Like we want the DCU to be successful. That's
we do. Yes.
So a movie maybe we'll review sometime soon. Batman and the versus Batman Ninja versus the Yakuza League is now available on digital to own.
I never did see Batman Ninja.
I
need to watch that. I have it.
That was a good one.
It's over there on my shelf.
Well, the good one might be a little bit stretched. The story is But the different animation style is
Yeah, yeah,
cool to
that's
see
the big
Batman
thing.
in the end. That's the big thing there.
This is the second one, right?
Yes, this is one all Justice League are
Okay.
with with the Yakuza. So uh, I don't know. I don't know any. It didn't see much
Oh,
leading up to it.
for some reason, I thought it was the third one of the Batman Ninja series.
I don't think so, but again, I
Okay.
could be wrong too. I might have missed one, Joe. Would not surprise me these days with so much going on.
Well, that and it's not like they've been pushing, like you just said, they haven't been pushing a lot of the animated stuff lately.
Yeah,
Because they're wanting to get the DCU up and running.
and again, we got more DCU news here, which is great lead in, Joe. Variety confirms Jason Ritter has joined the cast of Lanterns as Billy McCann. His character is described as a good-looking charmer who does his father's bidding, capitalizing on his family's reputation. He clings to his small-town ego and has everything to lose.
Okay.
So, wasn't he in? I feel no. I'm thinking of Cyclops. He was in Superman Returns.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks a little bit like him. Especially if you click on the link
Yeah,
and look at
James
the actual
Marsden.
picture, he looks so much like James Marsden in the picture there. So yeah, he's
Because
joined.
I hear Jason Ritter and I think Dipper Pines from Gravity Falls. So
He's in Matlock too.
new one.
Right now, Jason Ritter. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jason Ritter. And my God, he looks more like his
Looks
father.
like
Oh my
the
God.
older he gets.
Yeah.
God,
So yeah, but just
R.I.P.
nice. Just
John Ritter.
R.I.P. John Ritter, and just nice to see more cast like following in for this. They're already filming, so again, you can see like he might not come in for the first couple episodes or maybe the first episode. I'm just so interested to see how this is going to be done, Joe. Like, are we going to see very minimal Green Lantern ring use? Like, I'm okay with seeing the two guys dust around with not a lantern suit on and just using the ring, but at a certain point in the show, I would like to see them maybe turn. And how are they going to do it? Is it going to be practical? Is it going to be CG?
Are there dinosaurs in this dinosaur park?
I don't know, Joe. They're walking around with their jackets on.
Sure.
Instead of flying, Joe. Instead of flying. And you or I both know if you or I were in that desert and we had one of those rings, we wouldn't be walking all cool like that. We'd be flying.
But obviously they're gonna go check something out. That's why they're walking. No, chances are obviously they're gonna have the money, the budget in the first episode, in the final episode. You're gonna have a little bit of a smaller budget in those middle episodes.
The good thing is that it's a HBO show. That's the whole thing.
Yes, the budget is there. That is the positive.
And they have the backing of it too. Like the same thing with the Penguin. Like I assume they might have gotten like the script or something or gone told them about it. It's because I know when they first started seeing the dailies for the Penguin, they made the immediate decision to make that a HBO show.
Yeah.
Show. So
yeah,
thank same God. Thing with this show before they started. It makes me. I think it's because the creators they have behind this one with I think is it Lindelof?
I think that sounds right. I don't remember, but that does sound right. Lindelof might be attached to it.
Yeah. So. Yeah, okay. I'm looking it up, but we might have it here. Showrunner Chris Mundy, but there are behind the scenes Damon Lindelof. Yeah, I was right. And Tom King.
Oh yeah, Tom King is on this. I forgot.
Yeah. So again, I do think this is just from what they have behind it, and it's going to be 8 episodes. So yeah, exciting times, Joe.
So you'll get the first episode big budget, last episode big budget, probably episode 4, maybe even 5. Some budget.
Yeah, and again, we're not kind of people. I don't need to see him in costume 24/7 or anything like that. I just would love to see him in the suit at some point.
I don't know. You're complaining about them walking down the street.
I'm making a joke.
I know you are.
But they do look very rugged. Honestly,
they look awesome though.
Yes, and Hal Jordan there looks like the kind of like rugged look I'd like to see for Sergeant Rock.
Right?
Like, Joe's onto something here. Sorry, Colin Farrell. Okay, going on. The Batman co-writer Peter Craig had a comment regarding the fan theory that Riddler's father was murdered by reporter Edward Elliot.
Was there murdered reporter?
Was there? Wait. Yeah, was the murder reporter.
That's what he typed
right?
in here. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
right.
You're right. Yeah, was the murder reporter. He said the way that you're reading it would make some people, including Matt Reeves, very happy. Some of that is going to spoil what I know is continuing forward. He said Craig does not have writing duties on part 2, which is being handled by Reeves and Matt.
Interesting. Okay.
But yeah, that would be pretty cool too, because it would tie in and possibly allude that Hush might show up down the line. Right? No, yeah.
Well,
Isn't
okay,
the reporter?
so
Wouldn't the reporter be? Is am I? No, I'm mistaken. That's not who Thomas Elliott's father is.
yeah, his father was a doctor, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly, right?
yeah. Richie, which journalists wouldn't. Uh,
Well, I'm just trying to remember. Okay, so the way that they have it written is that his father, I mean, not, it would work if it was like a illegitimate kid. I don't know, like, I don't remember. And it's not like they can't change Thomas, Thomas's dad's profession. But the fact that he was a doctor and had money and basically he was rich and that's why he wanted to try and kill his parents so he can have it's a whole thing. I don't know. It fun fan theory. Fan theories are always great. Don't know how true this one is, obviously, but
yeah, again, the fact that they're stoking it means that there might be something behind the whole
maybe.
thing. But he's not working on the second one, so maybe he doesn't know anything.
That's possible too.
So we got some Jason Momoa stuff here with Lobo, which again, here's another person that I think could still play Aquaman and play Lobo, and no one wouldn't really know the difference.
I know we haven't seen Lobo yet.
Actually, let me rephrase that. If he played him like Aquaman 1, if you played him like Aquaman 2, no, everyone's going to know that this is the same guy because he's literally like he dialed up to 11 in the second Aquaman with the Surfer Bro stuff. Just a little bit. So,
well, yeah.
Again, I enjoyed some of that film. I think we had a really good time reviewing that.
We had a good time reviewing it. We both gave it favorable, but it wasn't like our best.
No. So Jason Momoa says Lobo will use his trademark curse words in Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. He said we've been saying fragging and bastard quite a bit.
You want to know something fun?
What?
When I was in 8th grade, it would have been how old would I have been? 12, 13. I said bastard on a field trip to DC.
Oh.
Yeah, didn't realize it was a curse word because I saw Lobo say because I had read at the time. I had read DC versus Marvel, and Lobo saying it constantly in there, and I'm just like, "Oh, cool! Lobo's cool." Said it on a school trip, and mind you, I went to a Catholic school. Yep.
Oh no, Joe!
I got a little trouble.
Yeah, I would imagine.
It was fine.
So yeah, he's full on in Lobo. There's another thing there, a little video clip where he's talking about like someone's asked him, is the makeup like white makeup all over the skin everywhere? And he's like, or like not all the time because he wears armor and that. And he's like, yeah, 100%. And he gets his phone out ready to show the picture of Lobo, and his producer's like, don't do that.
Yeah, stop that.
Yeah, okay. He puts his phone in his pocket, and the guy's like, oh, so close.
I was that close.
Yeah, and he's like, the producer said you'll enjoy it when you see it.
Yeah.
So maybe this might prompt James Gunn to release that picture sooner than later because Momoa can't keep it in there.
So, I don't know.
And I think he's going to be fantastic as Lobo.
Oh, I think he's going to be great.
He's already filming. He was on Jimmy Kimmel. He's filming there right now. So I don't know if that's going to lead to his own movie or special or something. But now here's a fun one, Joe. That's gotten a lot of people like talking is the Batman versus Bateman State Farm commercials. Did you get to see them?
I did because they've been going around for last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like that. They're fun. Plus, they're playing them during the March Madness right now. Like I'm not watching the games, but at guys at work are watching them, and they have them on the computers on TVs.
Allison's currently watching it upstairs right now.
There you go. So the commercial has played a few different times. Because I'm working, but I'm popping over and looking at the game every once in a while, and the commercial shows up, and I'm like, ooh, Poison
Yeah,
Ivy looks hot.
it's
Anyway,
very
Catwoman looks
enjoyable.
hot.
And yeah, there's Riddler, Two-Face, Joker. There's another behind the scenes photo with Poison Ivy, Riddler, Two-Face, and Joker. People are like, "Oh my god, this Joker looks amazing. This is the way Joker should look in DCU."
Yeah, they're comparing him to the younger Jack Napier from Batman, the
He
'89.
he reminds me a little bit of the Joker from the Long Halloween special.
Okay.
The way he looks a little bit from one of the pictures, but again, I think he looks a little different in the
I
actual
like how you
video.
clarified the special and not the comic, because comic he had like the elongated face.
Yeah, no, it's everything about that other thing was a disaster. Uh, yeah, so again, I don't know, Joe. I don't know, like what people want. Is this just a commercial? But I thought this was pretty cool to have. These reminded me of straight up like Batman the animated series.
It was fun, like
Yes.
just seeing everything in here. Yeah, you're not wrong on that. Like Two-Face looked great,
Yeah.
you know. Riddler was fun. Joker looked amazing. And then you had Ivy and Catwoman. Those
Poison Ivy
both
looked
look
just
great.
good. She did in Batman and Robin.
Yeah. Maybe a little. Well, no. Yeah. Uma Thurman back then. Whew. Anyway.
Yeah.
So
So
like
again,
just like this, it's literally just a fan film for a commercial, and it looked amazing.
it was great.
The problem with that is that now people are gonna be like, well, why can't you look at what they did in this commercial? You can't give us this character in this high budget. They're not. I mean, not saying they're not trying, but they're having fun. They literally probably just got cosplayers who paid for a shit ton of money to have these amazing costumes. Of course, they're going to be better than a high budget thing. They're trying to sell toys. They have a quota they have to make.
No, the Batman costume was made by Batman. Made by Batman. Made by the same people who made Ben Affleck's Batman suit.
Oh, nice.
So they went full out for Batman at the very least. So, yeah, again, I love this stuff. I love when DC works like this and just gets their name out more. But now Batman, everybody knows Batman. That's not a. I hope there's some Superman ones coming up. That would be nice, but who knows?
Superman versus Bateman. That doesn't work though. I mean, it could work though.
Let's take our final ad break of the evening. Listeners, we're an ad support network. We don't pick the ads or the volume. I'm going to give you a quick 3 count to adjust your volume, and we'll be right back in 3, 2, 1. And we're back. Okay, Joe, let's go through the rest of the news we have here. Warner Bros. Is scheduled. CinemaCon panel is scheduled for Tuesday, April 1st from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. Eastern. So, geez, that'll end 11 o'clock my time.
Oof.
Ugh. But we will be.
That's great for us, though, because we're going to have a crap ton of news come Friday.
Official new trailer is speculated to drop then.
Oh, my God, I hope so.
Yes, so we will definitely have a lot to talk about. There's only 3 months from the Superman film, so obviously the second trailer, and maybe we'll get to hear some people talk in this trailer, which I'm excited about. I can't wait to hear some of Lex lines, just some. I can't wait for this film, Joe. And they said they have a big presence at CinemaCon this year, so we might get some nuggets here.
Well, good. Good.
Okay. And then we had a anniversary, Joe. This past week.
Yeah, the anniversary of my neighbor's house catching fire.
Well, you had 2 anniversaries.
it was literally the same anniversary, same day.
So that sucks for your neighbor. Did you pause the movie while you were watching the?
Oh no, I was already done watching the movie.
Okay.
It was between the first time watching it and the second time watching it. Their house caught on fire, and I got to watch a house burn down. It was great.
What a day! What a day, Joe! What a day! As we alluded to, Zack Snyder's Justice League is 4 years old. Joe, as crazy that it's been 4 years since this
Right?
came out. We've been doing this podcast for this podcast has been going on for longer than that, which is crazy. Because the announcement was an episode. So, uh, I just love this film. It's really long, I know, but it still plays really well for me. Like I've watched it multiple times. I
I'll
watched
say when was the last time you watched it? Either the black and white version or the
full
regular
version.
version.
I watched it 2 months ago, like around just before I went back to work in January.
Okay.
So 2.5 months ago, I watched it
Okay.
from start to finish. Everybody was asleep. I finished at 1:30.
Nice.
And again, I enjoyed it. It was great. I'm a guy, I wouldn't mind watching stuff at 2 times speed as well. But again, I loved it. It still plays really well for me, Joe.
Yeah.
I can't believe we got it. It wraps up. I'm one that it wraps up everything for me. I'm fine with that's how it ends. Like that's okay with me.
I mean, I wish we would
Yeah.
have got more. Obviously,
But I can't.
we still could in the animated form.
Yes,
It's not going to happen, but it could. Or even comic book. I'd be happy with comic book. Whatever.
Oh yeah, we got
Yeah,
one
yeah.
over there with the cover for Jim Lee drew. But
yeah.
yeah,
No, like it's been a couple years for me. Like I haven't watched it in a while. But I've also my podcasting has ramped up over the last year alone. So me watching something that isn't podcast related, like that's not in the cards
it's very
anymore.
hard. It's very hard. Like I've gotten to watch a Scatter movie that hasn't been because we haven't had a DC movie in a while. We're not going to have one till Superman. So it's like I can get out sometimes. But again, it was hard enough to see Captain America Brave New World. So I didn't get to see it when everyone else did. So I love this film, Joe. Probably my favorite scene in the film was not one that was in the previous film, which was the whole Flash going back in time and stopping everything.
That worked so well, you know.
It looked amazing. I was shocked that you would take that out of the film. Like looking at it, being like
well, that also taking out all the cyborg stuff, and we know, controversy aside, like seeing Cyborg basically one, accept who he is, and two, accept the world and realize he can change it and make it work for the better. Like that's an important step for his character.
Yep.
And then not having the death of his father happen in front of his eyes, you know, like, and that again
didn't even happen.
Built the character. That's what I'm saying.
Happen. And like then the whole stuff like Steppenwolf finding the mother box outside, unguarded on the car.
Yeah.
Here it meant so much more. Again, it's just such a better film, and
it's a complete film. You know,
everybody say that was so nice to hear, and we'll always have it. And again, I always do think that the Flash going into the Speed Force is
it's such a great scene.
They went too backwards with it in the Flash film, but the first time they did that, I was just like, holy. And again, I'd prefer the Flash to have yellow lightning, but that doesn't take away a second from the character or the film. And even the Flash character was so much better. I'm just glad we have it, Joe. It's nice to go back and revisit it at times. And I've watched a few people like react to it, and I have never seen a bad reaction to it from reactors. So a lot of people seem to enjoy it. A lot of people are like, why is this not continuing? And I just laugh.
When you compare it to what we got in 2017, it's yes, they're the same storyline for the most part, but they're two very different movies.
100%, Joe. 100%. There's so much more meat and potatoes and guts into that one.
In Zack Snyder's.
Yeah.
So
fun anniversary, Joe. We are wrapping up tonight. We have a few Smallville retro recaps to discuss as we missed a couple. We'll start with season 6, episode 8, Static.
You don't want to talk about episode 7?
Let's talk about
Drugs Are Us.
Sorry. Drugs Are Us. Season 6, episode 7, Rage, aka Drugs Are Us. What do you think about this episode?
Dumb as all get out. That episode was so stupid.
It's wild that like they thought the concept of Oliver wanting to have superpowers and not be like Clark, not have to worry about dodging 800 bullets to not get killed. to
Yeah.
stop somebody, and they created a whole being on drugs. And yes, it was an homage to Green Lantern, Green Arrow in the comics, but
Yeah.
he was over and done the whole thing in one episode.
Yeah. Like that's not how
That's
drug
not how that
addiction
stuff
works.
That's not how that stuff works. No,
Yeah.
especially this experimental drug that brings you back for life and heals you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind
Oh
of bad.
my.
Yeah, okay, so episode 8, Static. This one was a little bit better.
I like
Sorta.
the fight and the action scenes between Clark and Batista.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Like of all the episodes, I thought Batista was in here longer. Like a couple episodes. No, just the one.
no, he's just the one, and Martian
One and
Manhunter
done.
shows up, which is awesome.
That was
do you
cool.
think
Yes.
this might have been his first role?
Live action.
First role in anything. I got to check and make sure.
Oh,
But
Batista?
yes, I think this might have been his first acting job.
You might be right because I'm trying to think when he was in I want to say Quantum of Solace. Was it Quantum of Solace? He was in a Bond movie. That would have been
No, he was uncredited in one.
mid
Smallville. Yep, that was his first thing.
Okay.
He had a Relative Strangers film where he was a wrestler, but he was uncredited.
Oh,
so he
wrestler.
didn't
Go
get-
figure.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was his first role. Was
Man,
Eldar.
seeing Batista here, and then you see him as like Drax, and I just saw a few weeks ago Into the Lost Lands with him and Mila Jovovich, and I mean obviously it is 20 years older, 20 plus years difference, but like the acting isn't really different. Like he's still not the greatest of actors. I still like him. Like what's the one movie? It's on Prime right now. The not My Bodyguard, but like
Stuber?
no,
No. I can't remember.
it's something
know.
Bodyguard.
I know what you're talking about too.
Like that first one was amazing. I haven't watched the second one yet. That's not what I want.
I listened to a fun story from Tom Welling about his appearance. Dave Batista is that they had all these wires rug up for when he was going to pick Tom up over his head to break his back, like he was setting up to, and it was all clunky. And Batista was like, "Why don't I just lift him up over my head myself?" And they're like, what? They're like, "Yeah." And Tom was like, "I don't know." And he said, "He lifted me up like I was a sack of potatoes and held me up like this." And I was like, "This is the only time a grown man has ever lifted me." He's like, "He lifted me over
My
his head."
Spy. That's what it is. My Spy.
So yeah,
like the man could do it. He did it for years in wrestling. Of course, he can lift up 180-pound nothing. Tom Welling.
He was also super respectful and kind and nice. It was one of his first acting jobs. He had questions, went to learn, and he became friends with Rosenbaum.
Awesome
from this. So yeah,
Good
it was.
for him.
Yeah, it was nice.
Funny because they weren't even in the same scene together.
No, and he was just sitting there, and like he came up and chatted with him.
That's awesome. That's
questions.
cool.
And yeah, and Rosenbaum's like, "What a great guy!" Like I'm shocked. I've seen the big wrestler come up to me. I was like, "Oh no!" And
because if you think about it, the wrestlers we've had go from wrestling to acting at this point in time, the main ones, you had Andre the Giant, you had Hulk Hogan, you had, I think, Stone Cold. No, not Stone Cold. Jesse the Body Ventura. I mean, Stone Cold's done some acting, but like I don't think he was.
Stone Cold was the main villain in the Expendables.
Yeah, but that's in the like mid to late 2000s. I'm saying in the late 90s, early 2000s, you didn't have a lot of.
No, Stone Cold was just tearing up, giving people stunners and drinking beer.
Yeah, so like, and like I said, you had Hogan in the 90s, you had Andre the Giant in the 80s. I mean, you've had wrestlers come into acting, but not a lot of them can make that transition. Not a lot of them are great at it.
No.
The fact that Batista is wanting to learn, and you see his career,
trajectory
now,
like,
and
this
it's
makes a lot of sense.
Him and Cena are my favorite wrestlers turned actors.
Same.
The Rock is fine, and there are some good movies that he's been on.
He just plays The Rock.
Anymore, it's like I don't want to lose. I'm going to win every fight I'm in. you're an asshole. What are you
Yes.
doing?
Again, kind of lost his way a little bit there.
Yeah.
And again, the big ending was Martian Manhunter showing up and saving Clark from Batista.
Yeah, from Batista. Yeah.
And the final episode was probably my favorite of the three, Joe, which was the illegal immigrant farm.
Oh, we forgot about Lex finding out that Lana is pregnant in
Yes.
Static, and
Yes.
then
And he was on the other side of like
there's a radio frequency,
Yeah.
which apparently I didn't know radio waves could short out electricity, which was weird.
there was a whole lot of nonsense going on there.
A whole lot of thing there. But the big thing is that the character, I can't remember the guy's name. He was in level 33.1 at Luthicor, and he was saying that it was a whole room full of these cells, and basically
he brought what do you call it there, Lana there. And
nothing there.
Because Lex's father already cleared it all out for him.
But what gets me is he's talking to Lionel, and Lionel's like, "Oh, I moved it somewhere else. You don't need to worry about it." Now he doesn't confirm this, but he's like, if you want back, you need to make me a full partner.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is, I guess, a spoiler for the ending of this next episode. Does he make him a full partner?
We don't see.
We don't see it, but
No.
what we do see is him when he gets and we'll talk at the main villain here in a second. When he gets him back, he leaves, and the door he closes is 33.1. So, like, did he actually make him a full partner?
And Lionel's not in this episode at all.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to this episode. This definitely was a better episode. Yes.
Yeah, 100%. And it's essentially Clark saving a illegal immigrant from deportation, the cops, his mother, everything. And it was so nice to see Superman step up for him, and just he basically saw himself in the kid.
Yeah, kind of.
I did love this episode, Joe. I thought it was great. The villain was scary too. The whole going underground.
Yeah.
Picking him off. Yeah, that was super cool to see. I thought this was a good episode, and the fact that Clark stood up against his mother, I thought was nice. And like you said, the best scene of this whole episode though was the ending where he closes the door and 33.1 comes behind him. Like it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's a good one.
And even like Clark knows the family farming too, the McNallys, so it stings a little bit more. And props to the kid in this episode; he was great. Tyler Posey.
Okay, because he definitely looked like a young, what's his name from Titans, Robin Brent. Whatever.
He does look a little bit like that too. Yes, I'm looking at him in IMDb. Like he looks a little bit like Brendan Thwaites.
There we go. Him. Yes.
You'd only know him from Teen Wolf.
Tyler Posey.
Or Jane the Virgin.
Haven't seen either one of those.
Yeah. So he's not in much that you or I would know.
All right.
So yeah, these were okay episodes. I'm very excited for not next week, but the following couple weeks. We're
coming up to a couple good ones now. And then this is technically, you could say that Subterranean, this last episode, was the mid-season finale, or mid-season break, whatever. Kind of lackluster for mid-season, but at the same time, we didn't have mid-season breaks like we do nowadays.
Release date for episode 9. Thursday, December 7th. Release date for episode 10, Thursday, January 11th. So 4 weeks.
Like I said, mid-season.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Like, that's not too long, like you said. It's sometimes it'd be months before we get a second half of a season to things nowadays.
But again, back then they did 22 episodes. So, like, their Christmas break was their mid-season break.
Yeah, you got 1 month off.
I mean, look, they work constantly.
Oh my. So yeah, that wrapped up the Smallville Retro Recaps, Joe. Wrapped up the episode, and we'll be back next week with more DC news. Until then, see you, everyone.
Bye, y'all.